haven't set up my Facebook yet. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, okay, now we're live. Okay, now welcome, guys.
Episode
This is
31.
Yeah, man. This is the Three Marketer Show, episode 31, and we have a very interesting guest here. So this is the guy who actually gave us so much interesting insights when we were running our episode about the Facebook ad settings, right? A couple of episodes ago. So we're talking about that. And who is this guy, right? He's been actually in our community for quite a while. I was thinking, hey, I think it's good to bring him in. And finally, here it is. But what is really interesting about this guy is that, despite all the whatever, very deep kind of techniques that he seems to have, that he was really sharing with us the other day, right? Turns out he's running a F&B e-commerce business. So I think it's going to be a very interesting combination. So we have a set of questions regarding the e-commerce, so-called F&B e-commerce side. And when we were just having a discussion just now at the backstage, it's very much towards e-commerce, but you guys know what to grill this guy for. Now, okay, so basically, this is me, Jason. I'm your host. We do this every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. to discuss one topic about so-called Facebook advertising or digital marketing, basically just to really, first of all, this is just three guys plus one blowing water. Just want to really do whatever we can to add value to the community. And I have my co-host here, Manfred, on the guy in yellow from Singapore, and Andrew from basically from Malaysia, of course, that guy in the black. And we have Carl today. Carl, say hi to the community, Carl.
Hey, hi everyone.
So what's your story? How did you end up starting a F&B e-commerce business?
Because you're hungry.
That's the story that you want to bring in, right?
No,
but
actually,
first of all, I think share with us your background a little bit, please. We would like to know you.
Okay, so I basically I run some digital. I do some digital marketing stuff in the past, and I use that skill to earn my living, Then, in terms of the food ordering side, it's actually by accident, because it's something that we wanted to start as a case study, but we didn't realize that the potential was so big until we had to turn it into full time. It was purely an accident.
So it was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
So why you started? Why you say by accident? How did it happen?
Because we came across the product, and we thought, we were thinking like, hey, why not we wanted to say that, can we use the digital marketing skills that we know and to actually implement across all these products and see how much can we scale. Like the original goal was to really scale it up to, can we do 100K per month just on these few SKUs? So then we went on ahead and do that.
It seems like you don't have a lot of SKU. Let me bring your page in a little bit.
What
so this is
what?
Here you go. This is that, all right? Can you see?
Oh crap! It's in Chinese. I don't know.
So Jason, you might want to share the URL for our audience.
I will have to
YouTube.
I will have to do one thing at a time. Can you guys share it? Because when I share the screen, right, I won't be able to go back.
No problem.
Okay, Carl.
Give me a minute. I will
tell me about
share.
This thing. Andrew don't understand Mandarin.
Okay, I see a lot of nice food, but you're okay.
The pictures will do all the talking, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let me Jason, maybe let me share instead.
Oh, okay. I'll let you share instead. Come.
So
Jason, remove
traditional
the
Chinese
banner.
cuisine ready to eat frozen store.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sharing the screen right now. Andrew, let me help you for once. 吃了饱
Thank you so much.
还想要
Then you have to explain
好料想吃自己配搭 mix and match
my
万
daughter
岁全系满免运满99免运费basically free delivery 啦无限制使用官网自动扣除 They're basically using countless time 啦免费送好料满120送你一罐超人气蘸酱葱泥醋
Oh my God!
I'm hungry already,
Hey, don't hire this guy to read your whatever news or do whatever your ads, Fail miserably, man. But
he cannot make a living doing voiceover.
Cannot.
Oh my God! Time offer. You see, make me hungry again.
You already say habis lah.
母亲节将近，你怎么那么下厨
Join the club, my friend. Join the club,
So how does it work? These are all cooked food, Carl. How does it work? How do you handle the business basically? How do you handle?
Basically, it's all frozen food. It's all prep. It's all prepped in advance. I mean, we prep it within 3 days.
Homemade, right? Not,
Yeah.
you get it from your supplier, right?
So you have your
We-
kitchen, your
we work
own
with-
central kitchen?
No. It's not our central kitchen. We basically work with suppliers to bring all these labels online. Then our role is really to handle the fulfillment and really to market it out. Because that's pretty much what we do now. Then we just market all these things out. Our niche is in. So it was also when we first started. We started before MCO, so it wasn't something like intentional. In case someone is thinking, because we started way before MCO. It was like I think it was October of 2019. That was way before MCO.
Oh yeah, man, that's way before.
Because MCO was March of 2020.
March 18th.
So we started way before that, and that was, I mean, MCO also helped us in terms of all these things. So, but even way before that, we were profitable already. We were profitable with all the.
Wow, check that
So
out.
nationwide shipping?
Only Peninsula Malaysia.
Wow.
That's good enough already. That's good enough.
That's
we
a
just want.
logistical nightmare.
Not really because initially when we first started, it was quite crazy because you don't have a lot of cold chain logistic one. You don't have a lot. Then after we started, they started to pop up few here and there. Then we went to mingle around. Then it's solved already. It's a very minor issue.
I see.
So now it become a minor issue because back then I kind of like helped one of the so-called goat's milk seller back then, trying to sort out the logistic issue to ship to even the peninsula part of it. It's also very difficult because back then we only have Takubin. Now what else we have? I don't know.
You have a lot more. You have Hotai. You have
a lot more, right?
What's that guy?
Correct.
You have a lot. You have a lot.
Now it's so nice, right? But that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Now, so what you do here? Let me recap. Basically, is you do frozen food, meaning that when people buy it, they will come in frozen form, and what they need to do is just to heat it up and they can eat it.
Reheat lah.
Wow.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. So okay, now then basically we want to bring it to the questions that we have now. How do you bring in your customers? What are the techniques that you do to bring in your customers?
Interesting.
There's we do a lot of. We actually rely on our primary customer acquisition channel is from Facebook lah. To be honest, like we don't do YouTube, we don't do TikTok. Partly also because our account got banned in TikTok as well.
Even in TikTok.
So what do you do?
No, because our food is non-halal, right? And in that time, I think half a year ago, that we tried to advertise on TikTok. Then they say that your ad cannot run because of sensitive cultural issues. So we thought was it the language or whatever kind of thing, Then we changed everything into English. Then it managed to run for like 5 hours. Then it died again. so I never bothered to try. I never bothered to try TikTok anymore after that. But
do you have issue with Facebook?
Yeah, I do have a lot of issues with Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg, that guy.
By the way, I heard
halal food.
By the way, I heard news. I read news. My girlfriend sent me. Mark is starting something similar to Clubhouse. Adding that bloody feature into Facebook. Oh my god!
Already one.
If you read
they used to have
later newsletter, they mentioned that.
Yep.
So it's coming. So what do you think about Clubhouse taking on this? I mean, what would Clubhouse do on this thing? I mean, basically sidetrack a little bit.
For me, I don't know because I'm not an Apple user. I do know that because I use Samsung phone. I don't use Apple phone.
Right.
But when the Clubhouse wave was here, it actually triggered me to actually get an iPhone because all my friends are there, like the top 1% guys. So I actually have that thought. So just to get into Clubhouse. So I think that just having that thought tells you like how strong their marketing.
How powerful is that, right?
Yeah, it's very strong because everyone around you is talking about that thing. Then imagine you just want to join the movement, So it was quite crazy lah.
I think they will accelerate the development of Android. The only way is to quickly roll it out before to cater to the pent-up demand for this Clubhouse thing.
But we all know that Facebook is really good at crushing people like that.
They got no choice, but they are the largest available. So whatever it is a potential threat.
Carl, I want to bring you back to the questions that we had just now, really about Facebook advertising. Because look, you are in Mandarin Chinese market, and that pages and all the website that you have.
That's pretty obvious.
It's a very competitive market, and it's kind of like basically you're kind of like different set of marketing. Even you want to run ads and all these different techniques over there. So how do you can you share a bit how do you get people in? What is the most effective technique or so-called ad that you probably discover that bring in the best ROAS for you and all that? Anything that you can share.
When it comes to running Facebook ad, you need to have benchmark. As in, when I say benchmark, it means you need to understand your own figure. Like number one, what's your break-even ROAS, so that you know like how much can you spend on front end to acquire a customer. That's the main thing that you ideally want to know. Then the second thing is that you have to learn copywriting, because copywriting is what actually brings you the money. The visuals are there just as a scroll stopper. The visuals or even videos. Personally, I would actually say 99% of the time, videos work much better than still visual in terms of top of the funnel stage. But recently, I also changed the strategy a bit, where I try more single visual. It actually works better lah. I don't know whether is it just because of me or whatever, but I've seen across the board like single visuals works very good now.
I resonate that.
Just past this 1 month only. Which we changed all of the top of the.
Any theory behind this? Any assumption behind this? I've seen a lot of move towards single image already.
I think it's about attention span though, because somehow or other people kind of like gotten bored with this thing and in a way, because it's no longer the last time. I just had a discussion with Wong, because we just completed his 2 days training. He was saying that back then during MCO time, he developed his so-called following and fan base during the MCO time. But now, started January, he was saying that entering 2021, the whole thing went really downhill. I think the reason being here is that, really people are really kind of like, they are changing. Everything is moving back kind of like to normal life, despite whatever number that we're having over there, right? I don't know what is the number today. I think it's not looking good. So we have lesser time on our phone right now. And generally, in most of our campaigns that we observe that I coach, the CPM is also coming up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's always growing.
It's always growing. Yeah. And now we are entering the Raya time already, ma.
I see. Okay, yeah. Probably
the
because
is coming already. Every time, whenever Lazada, Shopee have campaign, you will see CPM is crazy.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Shut up like crazy. Now, GY, let's take a look at some questions over here. But first thing first, I think we agreed to this thing. Manfred cannot use your voice over talent. So that Ben cannot. Then okay, now basically GY was very excited, but I think GY brought up a question over here. First, Renzo, hi. Thanks for coming in. And then basically now let's take a look at the Gamer Scrolls question first before I go to GY. Hey, wait, this is not a question. Scrolls saying develop popular things. I would totally agree. Like Reels, right? Yeah. Then we have this Clubhouse. I don't know what would that be called, but anyway. Now, question. GY was asking, okay, budget for ad spend for Facebook, seeing you run nearly 30 plus Facebook ads. What, dig deep already? You see now this guy already.
Wow.
So you had 30 over ads. So do you throw big budget onto each, or how do you do that?
It depends on what stage you're at, you see. Because if you are still, because the whole key thing about Facebook ad, right? Facebook ad is just, getting traffic to your landing page or whatever only, and that's pretty much it already. What you really want to find out is that what kind of offer actually gives you the best break-even ROAS, or even potentially profitable on the front end. That's the main goal that you want to find. Then if you go back to the Facebook ad question, right? So over there, you have to find out like at what stage, let's say if you don't have any data to begin with, then ideally you wanted to go with, for me, I would go with ABO. Then, and while you still can use the audience insight for now before it's gone, you use it and to segment out all the interest so that you reduce the overlap. Like ideally you want your interest to reduce maybe lesser than 30% or all those things so that you can actually find like audience overlap. So then you test each of all these single audience. When you are testing audience also, you also need to understand that, are you at the point of testing audience or are you at the point of validating angle and offer? Because it's two different things. It's two different things. So the key goal at the first stage is really to find out, do you have a front end valid offer that allows you to scale? When I say scale, it means like the first 3 days, no fluctuation, or even when you went past the 3,000 impression, you see like the ROAS is quite stable one. Like, it's
Even
converting.
under learning phase. Even
under
I,
learning phase.
I will agree to that. Yeah. Even under
Because
learning, it's not much fluctuation.
It doesn't matter whether it's learning or not, because you have something that's valid. You have something that's valid, right? You have something that the market wants. That's all you need. Then from there, then you start to know, okay, because I have this offer, and it's how I structure all this copywriting, from your headline, how you trigger them, all the way down into your product benefits and all these things. Then you start to scale. When I say scale, it means you go to CBO campaign already. Because I use ABO because I can actually control the budget spend better. Because like we've been doing this for like close to 2 years already, we sort of know like this interest most likely can jalan one lah. If you have the budget to actually spend more, I would even encourage you to go broad. Why broad? Broad, definitely you will lose money on the first few days one. That's like confirmed guaranteed. Okay, you don't need to feel unlucky. But if it can convert in terms of broad demographic targeting, right? It means that you can actually get it to scale on very specific interest niche. Then you go back
because
to
the
your
offer is
drawing.
right,
Because with broad, it's like you're targeting anyone who's living in Malaysia, right? Yeah. Then
so you
if it's
broad to test whether your offer is correct or not.
I don't use broad to test because I don't have the budget.
But I want to drill deep. I want to drill deeper on the offer part. When it comes to offer, right? Okay, I just want to touch a little bit. Just try to figure out, is it the USP that you're testing, or is it the promotion or the package or the whatever that offer that you're testing? What is that?
For us, when you not exactly. You have to understand that has actually a level deeper to that thought. Is that you have to understand what kind of company that you are building. It's like for us, it's like our niche is in braised food. Our niche is in braised food, but we only use braised food as an entry point to open up more SKUs. Like you don't see me advertise other food on my top of the funnel. You only see me attacking braised food because it's my niche and I'm dominant in that niche. So I only use that to enter because I'm so famous. Then when people come in on my back end, then I start to show different things. Like if you are first time purchase, then we have all the purchasing stuff, customer journey kind of thing going behind. So that's really on the front end. So to answer your question, it actually depends on how you want to angle and what is your strongest point for your company, not your product USP. Unless you are a single product store, then that's different thing. Like some of the examples that I can give is like 1,000 Miles, Bottoms Labs, all these companies that you might have seen their ads around. So they are also using the similar strategy, because if you see why you have to think of it this way, like why are they only advertising shorts? Like they never advertise something else even though it's in their catalog.
Only in the tier 2
because it's something that they know that, if I use this way, it gives me the best. They validated the offer already. Basically, they validated the offer already. Like, I also tried advertising other food, whatever, but it just doesn't work. Like, it's whether it's an angle problem.
So basically, you must find out your best seller first. Use your best seller to reduce all the variables.
Yeah.
And solve all the problem one at a time.
Yeah,
I think I would
even
totally agree to that.
Yeah. How long does it take for you to filter to this level of certainty?
We started with braised food, so that was always our specialty. We attack.
Okay.
When we started, we know that there's a market gap. Then you have to act fast. You have to act fast. Like I think because of us, I think there's like 20 to 30 competitors tried to copy us, but all died already.
And how do you build your defense? How do you stay competitive? How do you stay ahead of them? So what do you do?
Operations. Because you have to in Chinese we call this 护城河.
Yes.
You have to have different pillars. Like a lot of that you have to understand. Yeah, you have to understand. Like they are doing it because they are doing it because it's in that period of time. They are not in for the long game. So if they are in for the long game, right, their delivery will be top notch, their packaging will be top notch, and all these things. And this is where we invest the money. We put in the money to do the proper work. And that's why the clients the customers that stay with us, right, they actually purchase from us every single month. So that's a very crazy repurchase rate if you think about it. Like you don't even purchase seafood for every 30 days.
No.
So
It's
you
only
do
even
actually do the packaging yourself. So that's
No,
quite
we
a
don't
tech
do-
end. You don't do the packaging.
we don't do the packaging, but all these things very simple to settle on. Like
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not a
is
big
it?
deal.
it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's not a big
Definitely,
deal.
especially nowadays, when all these frozen food or packaged food and all this coming up, it's really a lot of suppliers out there. You just need to find a better one, and then you invest money in doing whatever it is. But I would definitely resonate with Carl's be dominant in one area, because this is a lot of things. I mean, whenever there are several coaches that struggle as well. They were saying that their competitors doing this thing, throw price and all this kind of thing, but same thing. They are not in for the long game. They only come in for throw price for about 3 months. Then once they finish their stock, they move on to another product. So it's fine. So I think building the modes and all these kind of things is really important, and finding the dominant the what do we call the area that you can really
niche lah.
dominate the niche. That's a very important thing. Same thing when I try to advertise other products of mine, as in my other courses or my other experts, it's kind of like shaky a little bit. But when I run Facebook ads, I mean, because I'm known for this thing, so I really focus on that. Yeah. So Shiwa is getting excited already. Now, basically, Now, as you can see here, I expected this. Halfway through, we forgotten about the food thing already. Then we
One question, then everybody start to ask.
then okay, I want to bring this up from Gamers Grow. I think this is a very interesting question. Gamers Grow is asking, are there any interest targeting in Mandarin? I don't
You
think
can target by language.
Yeah, I think it's language.
You can target by language. You can target by brand. You can target by Chupapa, whatever lah. All this, because interest targeting is quite flexible in that sense. What?
Do you target by language?
I do target by language. Like if I go broad right now, when I mean broad, I mean no only pure demographic, no interest targeting. I go by language. I go by language because I don't want like Malay to see my non-halal food. Then later they report the ad. Then I die again.
Come to think of it, you might get reported, right, for that reason.
No, because we had so many account bans until a Facebook rep actually called us. Sorry, the Singapore rep actually called us and said that, hey, sorry, we actually got into accident and banned you.
So I mean, what are the reasons they got you banned? Because of the food?
Because of the food and because of their stupid AI. Because they can actually they recognize the visual and your whatever that you posted, right? So how do you actually identify this? That when you try to upload something, right, then you turn off your Wi-Fi, then you can actually see they label something behind your uploaded image, like this is a person, a male.jpg. You can actually see that one, if you turn off the Wi-Fi.
Wait, what the heck is that?
Turn off the Wi-Fi while loading, then you.
While you're uploading your image or whatever.
You see the alternate text behind it.
Yeah,
they have labeled
you can actually we do all these stupid tests just to stay afloat. but yeah, so then they actually banned us because we were selling braised duck. Then they say, oh, you're selling we don't allow you to sell livestock. I was like, hello, this is braised duck. Then they say you are not allowed to sell sex toy on Facebook. Then we were like, hello, this is chicken feed.
Which part is it?
Chicken feed lah. So kai kiok lah.
Chicken feed is sex toy?
Yeah,
Okay,
they actually
labeled.
I also don't understand, but we actually we got violated. They say that we violated the rule because of all these things lah. So
I see.
So we were quite.
I never know that people use that.
We were very surprised as well. So then
now you got Manfred excited. Because
that's the joke that I'm supposed to get as well. I don't get it, man. What the heck is
a lot of times if you even want to go a level deeper, right? Like when we're testing creative, we only change like the first 3 to 9 seconds of the video. Like the behind part, we actually don't touch one because like 75% of people, they actually watch the first 9 seconds of the video. Yeah. So if the first 9 seconds is you can capture the audience attention and you can explain to them what exactly you're selling, it's good enough already. That's our benchmark lah. So we actually realized that when we uploaded that video, right, they tagged it as low quality. Then we were like, what the hell? Why is this video low quality? It was so professionally done, Then we tried to change 20 to 30 different variations of it just for the first 3 to 9 seconds and to find out what actually trigger the low quality, Then we realized that they only assess it, their like primary parameter actually assess it on the first 3 seconds. On the first
3 seconds. You are confirmed. You are sure on the 3 second thing.
I cannot confirm lah because we never change anything after that thing. But that's what that's what our learning. You can if you have the capacity to test, and please test and let me know. But that's what we realized.
Nobody will go that deep.
So your process is you upload, turn off Wi-Fi so that means they recognize the moment you are midway through the already
machine learning.
It. I see.
Yeah, they can actually map the content as well, So how do we actually know like the first 3 to 9 seconds is actually how they take into consideration? Because we never change anything after 9 seconds. So how are they supposed to flag the low quality? So there we have our first level of assumption lah. Like we play around with all these things. Like we never change anything that's the video is 2 minutes long. No one is so free to edit like 2 minutes long video into so many director cuts, right? Like the behind part is only testimonials and all those things to build trust.
Yeah.
So the first 3 to 9 seconds is what we actually changed the most. So we actually created 5 variations and upload them. We were like, shit, how come 3 kena? The three variations that actually went into trouble was because we had the first 3 seconds with different triggering words, with different headline lah. Then there was like, okay, is it because of this?
Chinese text still can trigger.
Still can trigger. It cannot trigger, right?
It cannot trigger, right? Chinese algorithm.
You see, why people cannot, they don't put the word 80, they only put 80. Why they don't put the word 医生, they only put YS. It's the same thing, right? You see, it's the same thing, right? They know. Why? How they know?
Okay.
How they know? Like when you run giveaway, they will flag you as
certain Chinese characters, they don't put. They replace it with alphabets.
Alphabet.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, this is really the, what do we call it? The Chinese kind of.
Some like, say example, sa is SHA. They just put S on there. Because somehow when you read,
people kind of get it.
When you read, then there's some word missing, but you understand that the word's supposed to be there. But that word
okay. What's the reason why that word should be omitted? It's what?
Because it's a negative word.
The algorithm is able to pick up Chinese character, no. English I can understand, but Chinese character, this is
wow.
That's why you see people don't even write when people try to recruit agent, they don't even talk about money anymore. 赚钱 whatever, because money scheme.
True. Guys, as you can see, the whole show is going haywire now. And it's going totally off topic right now. So this is the first time I ask this, please go and ask everyone that you know who's really deep into Facebook advertising, come in and challenge this guy. I think this guy is totally up for a challenge. It's a very crazy thing that...
Manfred's just been dethroned officially today at
blow water only.
as the crazy experimenter, and we're going to take a back seat and let this guy have fun, man.
No, those word as in replace. I saw it on YouTube videos heavily. I see a lot of I think Taiwan or China one, they has all the words replaced, but I don't understand why they do that lah. Even though it's just a YouTube video, I watch a lot. I think
because YouTube also have machine learning. Do you know that YouTube can actually? It's called voice to text. It's called voice to text speech or whatever kind of thing. There's a landing page they actually have, and they put all the machine learning, and they actually their subtitles like it's created the same way as well. Right?
Yeah,
their captions it's the same way.
Yep.
My favorite subtitle, but now being replaced by Facebook. You see, look at it. They're actually live subtitling this for us right now, as you can see it on our phone, right? All these crazy technologies. If you look at it on the front end, it seems to be, I like it, man, because it does it for me. But at the same time, they're actually doing all this for some reason. Now, Chirags has a question. He has been waiting there for a long time. That guy, I don't know whether he's still there or not. He probably went on to go and buy something from your website already. But anyway, so he's saying that due to your nature of a business, you drive traffic all the way to your site. Now, those send message ones, you also have a team to cater. Message, which one is heavier for you? You see, this is a very interesting topic. I think I would like to drill deeper. Do you get people to buy on the website, or they get message?
It depends on how you want to schedule, how you want to your target audience. Like we never bother whether it's message or actually a landing page conversion, because for us both is money ma. Like landing page, if you know how to reply, you can also get money. What? Like it doesn't matter. The only question here in sense is that what's the cost per purchase? What's the cost per purchase? And how are you supposed, what kind of effort that are you putting in to get people to buy? And is it worth the investment? So throughout our Tesla, we started off with, when we first started, right, we don't have a website. We started off, that time we were at 50K mark. That was our second month into business. We were at 50K mark with 3 SKUs. Then we were replying messages like crazy one, you know, like you have to understand it's like, it's RM1 per message, and we can convert at least 5 out of 10. It was a 50% conversion rate. So then the crazy thing is also because you have to understand that the reason why it works so well is because you have a low AOV. You have a low average order value, like it's 50, 60. So like, you know, it's very easy to convert.
People don't think one, just buy.
You know, I just try lah. I don't care lah. I just try lah. Like you go out, you buy one Starbucks also, like how berapa already, right? So you have to understand because it's that stage. So sooner or later when we want to scale and all those things, right? It doesn't make sense for us to put that much effort because you have to hire a CS. Like a CS will cost you like 2,000 ringgit, 3,000 ringgit. Then you have to work out a commission scheme and all these things just to feed him or her. Then it doesn't make sense. Because the margin for food is extremely low. You have to rely a lot on repurchasing, recurring purchase. So then it doesn't make sense in terms of the cost. But we still try to, while we are building the website with the Web Store Pro and all these things, then we still try to we went on hybrid mode. So the hybrid mode was actually to find out like, hey, today if I put in the same amount of money, how much am I getting out from, you know, from website or even from send messages? Sooner or later, then we realize like, you know, it doesn't matter like as long as people buy, we just, you know, the benchmark needs to be like three conversion out of 10 messages, then it's good. Otherwise, it's bad. That's simple. That's how it's. But
sometimes you just can't drill too much already, right? Yeah, but yeah, I totally agree to that. Replying is
no point.
It's
how big is the team?
Sorry?
How big is the team?
We don't have a big team. Like the replying, initially I started to reply because I wanted to understand, you know, what are they actually asking so I can actually build out a proper flow using ManyChat or even teaching my CS or part-timers on how to reply. Then after that, right now, everything is handled by my wife in terms of replying, like the customer service side, operations, everything is handled by her. Then I only work on the assortment and I also work on the marketing side of things. Assortment and biz there.
So mostly it's automated bot lah.
Not exactly automated bot lah. Not exactly automated bot because in Malaysia, if you want to do about PM and all these things, right, you have to use manual reply. Like because you're selling, you have to understand that it depends on the nature of your product. If your product is something that requires like slightly above the whatever that people is comfortable with, like say 150 or even 200, then probably you can put in some automation, sequencing and all these things just to reduce the customer service load. But it actually doesn't work that well compared to manual reply because people have like how can you, like you don't have a specific flow one, you know, like how can you be 99% sure like that flow will work for every single person? You can only be like 80% sure, like, you know, that flow is confirmed for specific criteria for all these people. And, you know, it's like, you will still like hit or miss for 20% one. So with the amount of money...
Sorry. So the question is quite varied.
It depends on the nature of your product. It depends. But I personally, I think if you have a high AOV and high margin product, just hire a CS lah. Come on. Because if you hire a CS, all you need to do is to make sure like you have a proper closing flow. You know, your CS knows how to trigger people by asking them the right question. Don't ask stupid question. Ask the right question. Then after that you'll be able to close one. Because the art of the not to say the art of closing, but the way to get people to buy from Messenger from you is not you trying to sell to them. It's like they are convinced by themselves. It's like, yeah, I have this symptom. Yeah, I have this. I have that. You know, then they buy. It's quite straightforward. But a lot of people they are too eager to close the sale, so they went hard sell. So that's why it doesn't work for them.
Good point.
I would totally agree to that. Yeah, same thing as, you know, what I think it was mentioned by Chun Yen as well. You know, he was saying that it's really the flow. So you just need to bring the right people in, and eventually you need to work out the process. And I think somehow or rather, the process is really a lot of businesses are missing.
Yes, correct.
You know, like what I would totally resonate with Carl over here, because people are too eager about closing and all these kind of things. They never thought that, like, you know, sometimes, yeah, some people, I just want to go out and get as many people, as many lead coming in, but they forgot that, no, in fact, the lead doesn't really matter. The number of people that you're able to, the process that is able to help you do the conversion is really more important. Like if you have a higher AOV, like you said, I mean, get talking, man. You know,
build the trust around the conversation.
Correct,
That's
correct.
the only thing. That's the only thing you need to do.
Yeah. Sometimes just like a lot of people wants to build offer top of funnel. I actually recently just had a discussion with one of my coaches over here. You know, what she sells is really something of a higher value product, but she built what do we call an offer that kind of like, in a way, it doesn't really help in terms of, in my opinion, it's just really purely in my opinion. I think that, you know, it would be a lot better if you go straight to the point and tell people what are you trying to sell at the back, instead of trying to create an offer that is not really related, or somehow rather confuse people towards your product, because you will attract the wrong audience coming in. Then when they come in and then they realize that, oh, you're selling this, but I thought it was that.
The market will tell what. When you run an ad, you will know already 1 or 2 days. You will know it. You will know it.
But if your product is front and center in the creative, you should not be mistaken, right?
It's actually it depends on how you angle your creative. Actually, like we normally, like for us, like we would angle their desired outcome. That's all what we put on the image.
Desired outcome.
The desired outcome
for your food. How do you put your desired outcome? How
we would say this is something that you have never tasted outside before, because food is something that's very personal. Food is something that's very personal, and it's something, all I need is your, to entice you to actually click to find out. Then I tell you this is something that you never tasted outside before, which is true, what? Because really no one does this anymore. Like, I'm not trying to trick you or anything. Then I start to explain, I say like, this is something that you never tasted before. Then I start to story a bit. Normally when this is where we try to go deeper into the level of copywriting, because we started with like, this is something that you never tasted before, you have gotten the attention already. Then we follow up with like a small preview, like since young I love all this food, but as I grow up, then I cannot find this food outside anymore. Then I realize no matter where I go, then that's where you insert. After that, only you insert your solution and testimonials lah. That's
sorry.
Like, yeah, you the story is not something that you need to bullshit, or something that it's something that's related to people and their personal experience.
Relatable. Story sells. This one is
nostalgia.
Not exactly. The story, you need to have their personal symptom one. It's like today, if you're trying to sell something, you're trying to sell what's that again? You're trying to teach people to be a public speaker or whatever, then through whatever NLP you can do. Then takkan you go and tell people like this is an NLP technique upfront. Then the market is so small. So what you want to do is like your symptom. Then you try to trigger them with the symptom so that your market is bigger. And from the top of the funnel perspective, your market is bigger is better, because you want people to come in to click. Then only like, hey, is it validated offer? Is it big enough pond? Then only you can run your remarketing. Otherwise, your remarketing cannot run also. Your remarketing have to run past 180 days.
Not interested to buy.
Man. They want very headache already. They forgotten about the food already. They don't even remember that. But now, I think this is a very interesting question that was actually crafted by Manfred. So how do you retain users? You were saying that you have a very high retention rate. The repeat sales in terms of that. We
have, let's say, 50% of the first-time buyers will come back to buy within 7 days.
Sick.
So it's a snowball thing. So how you actually create all these things is that you have your front end engine done already, right? Like your top of the funnel, your ad, all those things. Those are just the front end stuff. And normally the first order you don't make money one. Let's be upfront. You don't make money. Even you make money, you ngam cover only. You are cash flow positive in terms of e-commerce. Then what you want to do is that you build your back end system. Like, how are you following up with them? Like when you're delivering things, how are you actually informing them that, hey, you actually delivered? Like for us, we use WhatsApp lah. Then after that, we keep in touch with them. When I say keep in touch, it doesn't mean like I spam you, I have promotion, I have things. Then I just ask for genuine feedback, how do you like this food? How do you find it? Then, you build relationship around here lah. Then of course, there are some tactics that you can do on the back end here, like you give out coupon or whatever to those that actually say, oh, I love this. Then you say, then they kasi you chance to masuk ma. Then you say you give them one coupon. I give you one coupon with 2 usage you can share with your friend. That's how you actually build your referral behind. It's something very manual, but it's something that works.
Worth doing.
I
mean, why not, right? As long as it works. Okay, then GY come back again. Then GY, so happy that he gets to grade people now. What are the things that you do for customer loyalty? The same question that we were asking. I think basically he was suggesting buy 3 free 1 loyalty points. No.
Sorry. What we realized is that after a year and a half in this business, it doesn't make sense to do all these things. Because the simple logic is that, every day you went to visit a char kway teow store, you just eat that char kway teow store. Did that uncle ever tell you that, tomorrow you come back, I give you a bigger prawn, then will you come back because of the bigger prawn? It's the same logic.
Okay, you go on. This okay.
It's the same. It's the consumer behavior. So people come to you because at its core, they understand that your food is good. Your food is good. So if you want to increase the bigger question that you should ask is actually, you go a level deeper, is you have to do your RFM analysis, your recency, frequency, and what's that? And monetary. Like what's your AOV law? Like how much do they buy from you a month? Then the recency, how long does it take? When was their last purchase? So you actually need to drill deep into all these 3 areas to find out the relationship. Once you have the relationship, and these things it's not something that when you start the business you can do already, because you don't know. So when you start the business, what you need to do is you really have to go very on ground and speak with the customers and really understand, hey, how you find about the food. Then you start to analyze. You jot down every single purchase data, their email, their contact, whatever shit. You write it down in an Excel. Then you start recording. Then you start analyze lah. Then by the end of the month, you have some idea already. Like how many percentage of these actually come back within 7 days? How many percentage of these actually come back within 30 days? How many? Then you start to have a better understanding. Like we have a customer, like we have a bunch of people, right, that actually bought from us every single month. Like we have been in business for like less than 2 years lah, a year and a half. But yeah, they bought from us every single month, and every single month is 200 or 300 ringgit. It's not something that.
One question. Are you telling me you really collect all the data, then you break down, you know that this group of maybe mid-30s male who stay in Selangor will always like to eat? You collect this kind of statistics?
You won't be able to know. You won't be able to know their demographic because like you can only aga lah. I never drill down into their demographic, but we sort of understand like, based on, you can reverse engineer based on your delivery address and your recipient lah.
You can, yeah.
Or in Selangor,
because you have to understand, like, are you buying for self-consumption or are you buying as a gift for someone? It's a very different. It's like if they buy for someone to consume, right? Then like, okay, that's the secondary target market that I can actually go out and whack. Then your typical 4P market penetration, whatever. That's where you actually can go into and can play into that market lah. Like we recently tried to get more people to buy for their parents, to buy for their grandmother, and it worked quite well. It worked quite well because that was our secondary target market. We know that, hey, a bunch of people, they actually buy because they have family over here. Then everyone stay together. Then we can scale this part. Then another part, how do we scale? How do we actually reach out and attack the market? Then we do the other part, Then we try to find out all these things. It's not obvious one, Like, I say it out now, it seems like very easy and very like upfront, right? But I tell you, during the discovery process, it's not something that's very obvious because you have to go through all the chat. You have to go through all the nitty gritty lah. Only you will be able to find out. So that
which brings me to the point. The question is, does how many ecom sellers actually go through that? I think it's a very good practice, and
I
it's
definitely
a very
agree.
profitable practice. But the question is, how many do that? I don't think so.
It's all in the data, it's all in the data. But what people find, why people not doing it is because they find it too troublesome.
The only one.
In fact, I know a few of the e-commerce sellers, actually, they have all this data at the back of the head. Like how? They know which age group works better. They know all these things. But to be frank, that's only about a handful of them, to be
These are the
less
top
than. These are the ones that will be in the game for the long run, and these are the ones that's gonna make it.
Right.
You see, if you don't understand your customers, then what's gonna work? I think definitely,
Nothing will work.
and just like what Balkis was saying the other day, right? I like what Balkis was saying. If this is, a lot of people say that, wow, so much work. Wait,
but that's your business.
It's your bloody business. It's your work. It's your whatever. If you don't want to do it, then who else is going to do it for you? Come on, man. You think the money will just come and fall on you just like that? I really like all these techniques or whatever analytical things that Carl is doing. Fred, you want to say something?
Yeah, Carl, just to add, I think to sum it up for what you just mentioned is actually acquiring a new customer is expensive, but getting a repeated sale is much easier than the first sale.
It's going to give you more profit.
More profit because you have a lot of data, and especially I like the part on giving as a gift, giving out a gift to grandparents. That one I really never thought, if I'm in your position also. So until you see the data, you may figure out, and basically you must make an assumption, then you try to prove that assumption.
Yeah. Economics. Do you study economics? No, it sounds like you do.
I learned this from an economics person.
Yeah, hypothesis.
I never took economics. I got confused, or I tried to, because I find it very interesting. What macroeconomics, make it even more confused. It's not easy.
It's always to confuse you, because economics is really something that is always based on something that's not true. Because they always tell you, if this happened, then this happened, because if ceteris paribus, and what the heck is that? All other factors remains unchanged. And how can that be, man? I study economics as my profession, international economics bachelor. So never use that, only the analytical part. Now, Chiwai, again, as a service provider for Ecomm, he said the side stories is a lot of past customers, they build a platform with him, meaning that, and then wait for the time for the next check mark. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. A lot of Ecomm sellers, they don't know. In fact, a lot of Ecomm sellers, because they came into the market from different background. A lot of the coaches that I used to work with at that point of time during the MCO time, they are in manufacturing and all that. They need to go Ecomm because they had to. At that point of time, they couldn't sell offline. But but when everything gets back to normal, they get back to normal. Because they have
the mindset.
Yeah, it's the mindset, and they never really deal. That's why if you want to go e-commerce, right? To be frank, it's not just turning a business online. In my opinion, it's about the paradigm shift in your mindset, which is totally different. Well, I think Carl, you can teach mindset.
I think, but even for physical business of selling, whatever Carl has practiced is also it should be used inside.
In every business.
Yeah, isn't it the same?
Yeah, as long as you do business with other people, you should actually do this. But maybe because Ecomm has got a lot more data. That's why
I would say data is easier to access because
true.
In companies, you have hierarchies and all the departments, so it's quite difficult. Then you are also blindsided because you are only in one department. You don't have the whole industry or business overview of how it works. So a lot of it, then they try to rely on experience and that's where things go haywire because things that I would say digital things that work 30 days before doesn't work now. It's that fast. It's that fast.
I just want to add, I also guilty of making such a mistake because the management will definitely push for more sales, push for people who drop off, push notification in app, send email to sign up user. Basically, just want more sales from new people. And we are looking at the wrong
care about how to increase the lifetime value.
You should actually mute the lifetime value from the existing customer and find out, because they already has their relationship has actually drove up, as in from stranger to acquaintance already. So you need to work a bit harder. Acquaintance to become friend become better friends, and make customer referrals and so on and so forth. It's easier, and especially you got their handphone number, just talk to them straight away, But the question comes is, what do you talk to them? Say, example, they already purchased from me, ask for services. What else can be improved? Do you like the product? Why do you pick this color or something like that?
All this
You
boils
need to
down to
have
process.
onboarding journey, onboarding journey based on their affinity. It's actually everything boils down to content. So you need to have a very strong content department that allows you to scale into different channels. Like you actually, like, normally when we approach content, we try to have a super long form one, whether it's in the written format or whatever. Then we actually shoot that thing that we know, like, based on this script, this written format, it will work. Like it won't work like the best lah, but we know like 90% of the time it's consistent, it will work. Which is the style that you see most of the time on social media now, which is something like what I call third party written style or testimonial style. Like this is my story, whatever lah. It works like 90% of the time because it's a very authentic UGC kind of angle. So if this angle is working so far, then what we do is like we scale it by putting different characters into it, like different angles lah. Then we use the same format, then we see whether we apply into SEO channel or YouTube, whatever lah. I mean, if you're talking about the bigger holistic view of the whole marketing channels that you want to play, because that's how you should actually approach it. Otherwise, your cost will be too expensive. Because why? Because you have to hire like one social media guy, but your content is not anchored together, so you don't have the focus.
Right.
So that's something that.
I think you're really strong in content. I think that actually your background adds value to that thing because of your, the agency background and all that. But before that, we have a statement from James. James is from Philippines, right? Philippines, correct. James is my GIC member. So he said he combined ecom and traditional business, B2B, selling to companies here. Great result when you combine both. I will agree. Sometimes, you just have to find balance. And congratulations, David, for the awesome result. Awesome. Now, let's see. Do we have more questions for Carl? I don't think
Carl,
I have
just one question. So, in terms of content, because content is not my strength, to be honest. So, where do you start learning content?
I actually,
if I wanted to do something similar at what you just mentioned, is there an influencer that I need to follow, or course, or website that I need to visit?
There's a guy that I actually went to his course, and he's really good at copywriting. You have to understand, like my level of Chinese copywriting, like I have a lot of.
Hey, that is damn good, already. No, what I just read.
No. I cannot write on the paper one, I have to rely on pinyin. You have to understand. My level is that level. Like even though I'm Chinese but after coming out work and all these things, I mainly speak in English and I write in English. So I cannot write. I find it difficult, to actually express myself in Chinese. So then I went to this guy's course. The course I'll PM you lah, whatever. Then we see how we go from there.
No. I mean, for the benefit of our audience, please. I mean,
really,
sure.
You can actually look for. You can actually look for him. Big shout out to Hugo Pang. We call him Hugo. You can look for him.
Based in Singapore, based in Malaysia lah.
Based in Malaysia.
Malacca.
Hey, you know him as well.
I followed him for a long time. I follow him for a long time.
I went to his course. It's very good.
He's really good in copywriting. Chinese really, copywriting in particular.
Yes. You have to understand. I cannot write in. Then I went there. Then I wrote more than 1,000 pieces of Chinese copywriting to date because of whatever that I learned over there.
Awesome.
And Chiwai, yes, the content that all the ads that's happening on the website on Facebook, it's written by me. I wrote the content because I have to write the content. Only I know I need to hire which type of copywriter.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But of course,
it reminds me of Maverick.
So you have to find a way to come back already, lo? You have to find a way to come to
Malaysia. The tactics part, but just not what you mentioned, the strategy part, where you actually use a UGC as a template itself, then you have different angles. This kind of thing, not anybody can suddenly think of it, no. So
you have to experiment around. Like if you are in FMCG, let's say if you are in FMCG, what's a scroll stopper for FMCG? Then you look around. The best way to look around is not to try to look up on some blog that tells you 10 best ad hacks that you can see online. Normally those are bullshit ones. Like
Normally,
don't
I go to the competitors' Facebook advertising,
Yeah.
then see what
You-
they do,
you-
then I
you
follow.
un-
suit,
you
Because
try
when
to
because when you spend money to advertise, most likely that copy must be damn bloody good one.
it's not they have a logic behind lah. They have a logic behind how they trigger emotion, how they build you into how they guide you into saying that saying yes to that solution. There's a way to do it, and there's a lot of format to do it. So what you actually need to understand is like the best thing that I learned from the course is actually you know how to analyze and you know how to think in terms of your prospects shoe. So because you are able to understand that already, then you have the ability to analyze what's working and what's not. Because otherwise, normally what people would do is like, I go there, I go to the ad library, then I see when the ad is posted. Oh, 30 days ago, it's still running right now. Then it must be a damn ad.
For a longer duration, then 卖涂料.
Then
follow,
you just
right?
follow, copy, paste, then you realize, it actually doesn't work that well. So what's the trick behind?
I think it's a psychology in selling. In fact, it's
Yes.
the thing that you need to understand and instill into your copywriting. To be very frank, I really admire those who can write at this level. Yeah. Thank you for recommending. I've already posted a link into my YouTube and Facebook. You guys can follow Hugo on IG. So I got a link from Manfred. Now, Manfred, do we want to quickly go over on your wow today?
Yes, just a quick one. Let me share the screen. Today is a chop, very fast one. Okay, I have in a situation that someone passed me Adobe. You all can see, right, the screen?
Wait, let me bring it up here. Yes,
So,
correct.
so in the situation that actually people give me Adobe AI file, PSD file, XD file, but I am not an Adobe person. I don't have Adobe Creative Cloud. So I have problem opening up. So I found this website. It is quite a decent website, but I only use it to view the AI file. So you can actually use this photop.com, okay, to open up. I believe you can do a lot of editing, but the problem is this is web-based and it will be very slow. So for opening up things to see, this is a good choice.
At least to see.
At least to see. So Jason, just trouble you again to share this in the YouTube.
I already.
Yeah, and that's all. That's all for today. Very simple website to see.
I think it's a very useful one. Because to be frank, if you work with agency, that you will know that when they send you something that you'll be like, what the heck? How am I supposed to open this? At least this is something that you can actually use. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then, our friend just did a quick bullet. English, Maverick. Chinese, Hugo. I would agree to that. I follow Hugo for quite a while because the way he writes, the way he actually does that, it's really, really awesome.
Strikes you every single time, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
Every single words is really well crafted. There's no unnecessary words. Every character serves its function.
Yeah, it hits you just because you are, they know the way you think. I think it's about they try to come from, they don't write based on whatever they need to write. They write based on your kind of like your thinking journey in terms of buying this product from a person. So I think that's the most awesome thing that we need to look into. And David was saying, David was saying he tried hiring a content marketing agency for 3 months, so expensive, and effort and work is 3 times more because you need to check and guide them on the hand, brand's vision and voice. Similar experience now I'm back doing on my own content. I would say, right, if you can, I don't know, Carl would have a different angle maybe, but in my opinion, I think I also had a little bit of experience working on our clients' content, but at the end of the day, I think, I don't know, I would still think that if you can do your content on your own, that would be the best. What do you think? What is your take, Carl?
For me, I look at margin. If the company you can sustain with content, the content, you have to understand that the content angle needs to be driven by you. That's like the direction and everything needs to be driven by you. You have to decide how the content, the tone and manner, how you want it to be. And when you hire someone to do, you are literally using their time to help you to do the task only. And the minimum goal that you expect them to do for you is 80% of what you expected. Then you just change some words or whatever, so that they handle already the thinking part and the production part. That's how you should actually approach the content thing. That's for me. So if I have the margin and whatever that I can do, I would definitely hire. I wouldn't do it on my own. because if you let's say, I always tell people like the money is not made within the ad manager, the money is made outside of ad manager. How?
After
Because
the click.
you cannot control today Facebook, whether they ban you, they ban your ad account, they ban your ad or whatever. So as an e-commerce brand owner, what you're focused really on is like finding new assortments, finding the better assortment that you can play around your profit margin. So that takes you a lot of work already, you know. Then the second thing, you want to build content library. Like, I'm not talking about you creating ad. Like, creating ad is like it's basic. If you want to do e-commerce, your content is basic, but you have to create content library so that you know that every single day when you are so structured to do it, you know when you want to scale, you don't know when your ad will die. You don't know when you'll hit the frequency cap, when people start to get tired. Let's say the single visuals are working very well for the past 1 month. You don't know when will it die. you don't know when will it die. So do you have enough library to actually build up based on your past data that tells you that this kind of copy works? It can help you to give at least what kind of ROAS and all these things. How are you keeping up with the content library? Because it's about content game now, you know. You think about it this way lah. Another way, because I'm using Facebook a lot, is you have to think about their ad inventory. They have 15-second slot, they have 30-second slot, they have 1 minute, 2 minute slot, they have 5 minute slot. So are you capitalizing on all these different formats? You also have stories, you also have all these things. So whatever that's native to the specific channel and to the specific inventory, it will definitely perform better than the others. The question is, do you have enough library to actually capitalize on every single all this opportunity or not? So if you ask me, go back to the question, I would definitely hire a content guy or even a visual production guy, because we already know how it works. We know how we want it to be. We have that top level direction already. We know that, okay, for this one, I want it to be this way. For story, I want it to be a 15-second UGC with this kind of cut. Then you know how it works already lah. Then after that, it's really just scaling only.
Correct. I think it boils down to the first thing that you mentioned just now, because the idea came from you. So you see, a lot of business owners out there, when they're hiring agencies, that's based on a little bit of experience that I used to have, they have no clue. They were looking to be. I mean, they came in. They say, I want to be guided. But the problem here is that, wow, guided. And then communication was not done in a proper way. You know, the client don't understand the agency doesn't understand the client, and all these things is where the whole thing falls apart.
They expect the agency to take over the thinking for them and make the money for them.
But I don't think we can ever think, as an agency perspective, we can't really think as the owner of the business. So
one question, Carl. Do you engage in organic content, or the content that you generate primarily is for ads?
No, we do in organic as well. We do it organic as well.
So do you test in organic, then you put it in paid, or paid and then do organic?
What sort of content do you put in organic? Because I can't read your Facebook. No, I don't understand.
Like post the link.
Yeah. How do you engage? Or how you keep this audience?
You have to understand that running ad and running Facebook organic is different.
Yes.
It's different. You have to understand, because it's like, we go back to the philosophy again. It's like every single channel you have, ad, you're probably running for prospecting campaign, then you have to speak differently. But so for even for our Facebook account, we try organic, right? We try to go very product based also. Like you can never see people do product based. I can have so many likes on. With this kind of base account, it means our organic reach is good,
Right.
Then the organic reach.
What sort of flavors do you put in organic? What do you write? What do you put in?
We write some backstory of the product. Backstory of the product. Then we write some like how we came out with the product. Then we also write something, like some nostalgic stuff, how mom used to cook, all these things. Then we also chip in some testimonials. We try not to keep it too bland in the way where like everything is about product. Like no one really, like you go social media, you go and you want to understand like how is this celebrity doing or whatever, or the recent hot case lah, the YouTube case, like try to understand all these things on like. So we try to keep it very lifestyle based, so that we are not very product heavy. Because if you just come in, I have a pin post that's good enough to tell you what I do already. I have a pin post. The first post that you come in, it's about some of our touch a bit on our brand story, so that I can actually soft sell to you a bit. Like this pin post actually is about
Yeah, it's about the whatever 11,000.
11,000.
Yeah, we were saying that, you
I
know,
thought you-
this is what we learned from 11,000 of customers that bought from us. We actually rank it up. This was actually a pretty we were actually doing some tests with this as well. Like, we were trying to understand, like, hey, today if I create this type of content, then I chip in a promotion at the end, will people actually comment or not? Then you can actually see the comments were quite crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, people were asking for all these, 100 over comments asking for this. So I think this is really something at the back of the story, right? It's the last few pieces of the content that you're doing over here.
Yeah, correct.
Correct. Awesome. I think I like the idea. You only need to focus on the pin post, because if people want to find out, they will find out, and your posts should be more towards something that you are, you're good at. That's very interesting. I'm just quickly going through. Wow. Right.
We actually shot all the products with my smartphone.
Right.
We never use all the DSLR, all those shit. We just use smartphone is good enough.
Oh, nowadays the smartphone is very good already.
Awesome enough.
A lot of people think they need to have DSLR, but the thing is that you have to understand photography lighting pretty much dictates your outcome of the photography already.
Correct. I would agree to that.
Your lighting is more important than having a 2,000-3,000 or even 5,000 kind of DSLR. It makes so much sense. And
Just
lighting
bring
is
the
very cheap.
LED link light. And plus, I presume you use Canva to edit your photo, right?
Yeah, I use Canva.
Only Photoshop. Only AI.
No need. All right, guys. I think, wow, this is really awesome to have Carl here to share with us so much golden nuggets over here, ranging from Facebook advertising, running an ecom business, in terms of the mindset paradigm shift, even come down to the content writing. You know how crazy is this guy. So he already commented and say hi over here. So please go over and follow him, and follow his Facebook page as well, which I already shared at the very beginning, which is already there. And of course, this, I don't think this will be the last time Carl is here. So we would definitely look forward to having him back again in the future to share about different topics. So anything you want to ask Carl, you can still type your questions in the comment section. And when we see more and more things coming in, then we will bring him in again in the next time. So guys, anything else you want to share with us, Carl, in terms of if you want to start an e-com business, if there is any advice, to our audiences over here before we go off?
Watch this episode again.
No lah, we blow water only. Pick a niche lah. I think you have to really understand understand how to actually do some research, like heavily research. Even when we started this business, we didn't invest a lot of money. Like, I only invested 500 ringgit.
Oh,
500 ringgit. So yeah. I only invested 500. So and you have to understand the scale that we are at now is like we are doing more than we are doing 6 figures per month now. So and our previous quarter actually is like the 50% of what we did last year.
Wow.
For the whole year. So it was actually quite an exciting journey lah. But you have to understand what you are dealing with first. So the first thing, going back to the question, is like you have to understand what you want to do and what is the market gap. It goes back really down to all the nitty-gritty things, law. The market gap, what's the market gap, and what are the competitors doing? Will you be able to reverse engineer out, like, what type of things that they are focusing on? What is their typical AOV? Because all these things you can calculate one. If you cannot calculate, you just go and Shopee to see. Very straightforward. Just go and Shopee to try to reverse engineer and understand, just to understand some statistics, so that you try to understand that, hey, if I venture into this project or even into this market, will it be profitable or not? If it's not profitable, what do I still want to do? Like, what kind of things, are there better opportunities? So because I'm coming in from the angle of business person, it's not like I go in for fun and try to scale this to play this game and marketing, then do some expert thing. No.
So when you say go Shopee, find the AOV, roughly how to find again? Sorry, I don't catch.
Look at the monthly sales. Like, it depends on what kind of, because Shopee, the game on Shopee is very different from how you want to play it on Facebook. Like, you will see Facebook right now, we have a lot of drop shippers. We have a lot of drop shippers on Facebook right now in Malaysia, specifically recently. Okay, so yeah. So then the original product cost, let's say if they're selling on Shopee, Lazada, it costs around 35 ringgit, but they're selling it at least 4 to 5 times, 4 times more on Facebook. But people buy. Why? The question is why. The question is why. So it's something that you want to figure out lah, and depends on what type of market that you want to in. But I approach this thing as something that I see, have potential in the next 5 years or 10 years, so that you at least understand. Even if you want to, let's say if you want to venture into something that's on trend right now, is healthy stuff. Right. So healthy stuff, you check on your Google trend, you check on what type of things that people actually search, then you venture into it. You can do some small scale testing one, it doesn't hurt. Like you open a Facebook page, like for me, if I want to test a product, normally
start with $500.
No, because we have the skills already. So we know the way we write this ad and whatever, then we sort of know okay, today if I scale, first month I could probably make 100K. Then the next few months, if I scale, depends on the Malaysian population audience size, can I scale into different market or not? Can I scale into BM? Can I scale into Chinese? Can I scale into English speaking crowd? That's how you need to approach this angle so that your business can go into a greater heights. Facebook is really just a platform only. Don't it doesn't matter one. It doesn't matter.
Totally agree. Awesome sharing. Thank you so much. Guys, I already shared the link to Carl's Facebook page and all that. You know where to find him. Really, thank you so much, Carl, for joining us today with all the crazy information and knowledge that you are sharing with us. Guys, if you need to watch this again, I totally understand. You probably want to bookmark and download this.
I probably want to watch this again. Yes.
All right, guys, this is the 3 Marketer Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we do this every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Next week, we have another guest. So join us. If there's any topic that you want to learn, let us know. Or if there is anybody that you believe that you want us to feature them, let us know. We would love to hear from you. Thank you so much, guys. And thanks, Carl. And see you next week. See you
next week.
Pinterest. Okay. All right. Awesome. See you next week. Bye. Good night.
Bye. Bye.